Greetings, hello, and hi. My name's Drew, you're you, and I'm guessing you're at least a little bit interested in hearing about my trip to Japan. If you're not, that means I've done a terrible job in titling this video. So I'm sorry, I'll accept full responsibility for that misdirection. However, that is what we're going to be doing. I don't really have an agenda planned, but I've got pictures. I'm going to show you some of the pictures and talk about them, and that more or less covers my trip to Japan. I did not take enough video, but I took some, and I'm going to share those with you. My travel experiences, my takeaways, the Tokyo International Pen Show, and everything in between. So let's get started with my plane ride from Richmond, where I live, to DC, where I flew to Tokyo. The plane was small. It was like a little, one aisle gap, and then one row, an aisle, and then 2 rows. I was in the single, so not a ton of leg room there, but it was fine. It was seriously like 25 minutes. It's a very quick flight from Richmond to DC. Once I got to the main flight, this is the longest flight I've ever taken. It was like 14 hours long. Once I got on there, I saw that there was a little display saying like when we're leaving, when we're going to have meals, when the lights are going to come on, when we're going to have a snack. It's like, it was really cool. It kind of like, it was once one of these kind of events occurred, you kind of knew where you were on the trip. Of course, they have like the little plane tracker on the video screen as well, but I don't know. I've never seen it before because I'm not a big international traveler. I've only ever been out of the country once, to Italy, on a work trip, and that was very fast paced and a little bit of a blur. I did get to watch some movies. I watched, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and then the third one, War of the Planet of the Apes, Battle, I don't know. The third one in the Andy Serkis trilogy, which are fantastic, by the way. The Planet of the Apes movies are phenomenal. You should watch them. They are good. It's a trilogy, well, I guess a quadrilogy now, but it's one of those intellectual properties, one of those franchises that just does not, all the newer ones, the ones that Andy Serkis started on with James Franco, all of them are good. They're just fantastic. Each one as good as its previous version, just a solid series. Anyway, and then I got this thing, which there was some chicken, there was a single baby carrot, a little bit of rice, some wooden utensils, a very cold, very hard roll of some kind, and then these little, like, Odie things. They were, like, kind of sweet. I did not like them. Did not care for those. But the ginger ale was delightful. I am a big fan of ginger ale. It feels like it's like a soda that's not as bad for you because it doesn't taste as syrupy as a lot of sodas. I mean, of course, it absolutely is, but I don't know. For whatever reason, I think ginger ale, it doesn't leave me feeling like I've been naughty in drinking soda. I'm able to fool myself a little bit more easily, I think. I don't know, but I like ginger ale. Big fan. I like the spicy ginger ale, too. And then there was this, the balsamic chicken with arugula and mozzarella. This is what it was. It was piping hot, so it was painful and disgusting as well. So there's a lose-lose here. And then breakfast, because I did the whole thing. It was a 14-hour flight, so I got lunch, dinner, breakfast. This was French toast sticks with some sweet butter on it. It doesn't look good, but it was good. I quite enjoyed it. When I got to Tokyo at the airport, the thing that surprised me the most immediately was how much they use what I would consider to be stereotypical Japanese iconography, like samurai and the cat and all that stuff. Like, I don't know. I always felt like that was something we did in our country, but I guess it's a touristy thing. They pop it up there and they really want to let you know, like, hey, welcome to where the samurai come from. So I don't know. I was kind of like, oh, okay. There was even like a little in the customs area. There was a little video screen about like, hey, how to be a good guest, how to stay in the line properly. And it was like a little animated samurai doing these things. And I don't know, that just surprised me. I was surprised by how often they used that in just kind of regular everyday announcements and video packages. So this is just a map of the subway route, and it's maddening. I'm so very lucky to have CY there as my host and patron. You look at this and you really wonder, like, could I have possibly have done this by myself? The answer is no. A resounding no. But I didn't have to, so thanks, CY. I was there at the pleasure of CY from Tokyo Station Pens and Kyuseido Pen Company. And then there was the Family Mart. I did this with CY pretty much right when I got there. I had heard a lot of things about how cool the convenience stores were in Japan, and I was excited to kind of pop in. One thing that you'll see right away is that we had a clear umbrella. This umbrella here and the umbrellas there at the entrance are everywhere. Everybody's got like the same umbrella. Not all the time, but this is like the standard de facto umbrella. And there's always a place in these convenience stores and most stores where you can pop them in this little umbrella holder in the entrance, and then you just get it or one on your way out. I don't understand how they know which one is theirs. Maybe they don't care. I think they just grab one that doesn't look crappy and say, this is mine now. So I don't know. That was interesting. But anyway, the actual convenience store was delightful. They had a lot of awesome stuff. What? You just get pants?
Drew's first time? Yeah, you got everything. Like, if you need anything, you need underwear, you need socks. This is Family Mart branded socks.
Wait, this is a stocking. This is a foot cover. Where's the difference?
What? Yeah.
What? This is wild.
Magazines,
classy.
Put together stuff. Yeah, these are prepackaged meals, canned stuff. Calorie Mate.
This is from Metal Gear.
Apparently you can get stuff. Oh, I don't know if I can swear. Beef stew. This is incredible. Put your hand on one of these.
Okay.
Put your hand.
Oh my god, it's hot.
They're warm drinks.
This whole thing is hot.
Yes.
This is a hot
then
section.
in the summer, it turns cold.
What? Oh my god. And I found a Calorie Mate, which is an accessory in the Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater game, which is one of my favorites. My favorite Metal Gear Solid game. And I haven't eaten it yet. I still have it. Maybe I'll record that on another time. But in the game, it gives you quite a bit of stamina recovery. So it can't be bad, right? If, you know, Snake eats it. And then we went to dinner at a little very much hole in the wall place. Very tiny, but allegedly one of the best to get tonkatsu, which is a fried breaded pork, which I knew was going to be delicious. I'd heard so many people talk about it. And before that, though, we had this egg stuff. I think they called it an omelet. It didn't look like an omelet that I had ever had. I tried it. I was really upset that CY made me eat an egg thing this early into our trip. It did not bode well because he likes to rag on me because I'm very picky when it comes to my eggs. I just like them all the way cooked. I don't like a very eggy flavor. And over there, lots of eggy flavors. Lots of egg. It's just a very egg-rich country. They're a big fan of eggs over there. I like my eggs scrambled or over hard, cooked all the way. I'm not a man that likes juicy eggs. And he likes to give me a hard time about it. So I still ate it. It was not good, but whatever. I was a guest. The water over there as well. If you order water, it's never a big enough glass for, I don't know, a stereotypical American like me. Like I need a, very large thing of water because, I don't know, I just drink a lot, but all the waters were really tiny. If you ordered a soda, you got a normal one, but if you ordered a water, it was small, from my experience anyway. I had a hard time taking a picture of where we were sitting because this guy was cooking like inches away from us and I didn't want to be weird. But anyway, that's where we were sitting. And there's the food. It was amazing. Absolutely amazing. It was just delightful. I'm not a big fan of miso. We did get a few miso soups during our trip. That flavor doesn't really work with me. I'm a very, very simple mouth taste man. Like I like simple food. I'm a lot of stuff is wasted on me, and I wish it wasn't, but I don't have a very discerning palate for sure. I like spicy things, but it really needs to have a very bold kick to it for me to kind of differentiate any sort of flavor. But this tonkatsu was fantastic. I also realized that I'm not supposed to put my chopsticks in my rice like this. That is something that's done in bereavement situations, apparently. So I was told not to do that, but I got a picture of it before that happened, apparently. And this is where we had breakfast the next morning. This was at, what's this place called? I need to zoom in and find out. Oh, Komida's. Yeah, it's like a Dunkin' Donut sort of situation. It was really good. They had donuts, they had coffee, and toast. Anyway, this is the first of many toilet controls that I saw over there. Now, I'm going to disappoint a lot of you by saying this was a highlight for me. I'm sorry, but it was. The infrastructure and the public amenities are something I'm going to keep talking about because they shook me in a good way. So you've got your bidet options here, of which there are many. Looks like there's an air option. There's temperature controls. A lot of these seats were heated, but like this was pretty standard, y'all. Pretty standard and amazing and delightful and wonderful. And yeah, we stayed in Asakusa and Asakusa, but it's Asakusa. Kind of move it quickly. I'm probably still doing it wrong, but this was one of the breakfasts at Komeda's. And this was like some sort of egg paste on toast. And this is what CY got. I got this ice cream thing, and I just was fascinated by the shape of dueling spoons here. Still don't know why. I think one of them was more of like a chopping, scooping spoon. One of those was just like a scooping spoon. I liked it. I don't know why they were different, but I liked it. Anyway, yeah, here's the logo, the Komeda logo. And this was what was on the mug that I didn't get. This building here in gold was supposedly supposed to represent a mug of beer of some kind with like the frothy head. So I don't know. Yeah, I guess it kind of does. And then CY dropped me off all by my lonesome at the temple in Asakusa. And that was fun, actually. I was surrounded by tourists, didn't feel like I was really out of my element. I mean, I was in Japan and absolutely had no idea what I was doing, but I don't think anybody else around me did either, so it was fine. So I walked around this temple area. It was pretty neat, very crowded, and the weather was fantastic, by the way. Japan is usually very hot and humid from what I understand, but the weather was kind of perfect. It was cool in the evenings, totally lukewarm in the daytime, like light jacket / cardigan weather, so kind of perfect. I was interested in trying to find out what was original. That's kind of like where my mind goes if I ever go to someplace old in the US, which is completely not old in Japanese standards. But like if we go to like, Colonial Williamsburg or something, I look at see which building was a restoration and which building is original. Because, I don't know, the original stuff's always more impressive. I'm like, oh, okay, wow, yeah, those bricks do look different. Or that glass, well, it's all wobbly, that's obviously old glass. And I asked CY about that. And I couldn't really tell. And he said, well, the thing with these temples is that they have, since the beginning, been perpetually torn down, rebuilt, maintained, rebuilt, and it's just been a constant thing. So there was never like one moment where like something catastrophic happened and they needed to be rebuilt. It's just kind of like been an ongoing upkeep. So while none of it is original, it in a weird way doesn't feel like it was ever dead, I guess. Like, there are some historical things across the world where something bad happened and it needed to be rebuilt, restored. But these temples have been just constantly rebuilt and refreshed. So in a way, they never needed to be brought back to life. They were always being kept alive. And that was really cool. Once I let that roll around in my head a little bit, it felt very unique and special. And I kind of liked that. At first I was like, oh, so none of this is 2,000 years old or whatever. But then I kind of really ruminated on that. And the beauty of having something maintained and taken care of and nurtured for so long is just, I can't wrap my head around it. But it really did give some gravity to it all. Not like it didn't already have gravity and, meaning and purpose. Like it was just, breathtaking. So that was the Asakusa Temple. And here, again, I'm sorry that I'm harping on this, but the bathrooms, people. I want to talk about this door gap. In the US, we have bathrooms that have obscenely terrible door gaps. Floor, ceiling, door crack. This was a public bathroom at the temple, very heavily trafficked. And you can see that the door itself has a convex curve to it. The door frame, the panel, the stall, has a concave arc to it so that the door matches up at a curve with the frame. So because it's curved, you can't see through it. It's not a straight line. It's a curve. So no gap. No gap. It's not difficult. It's just a curve that matches up together. Like, we could do that. We could do that, but we don't. Because for whatever reason, we want to be so uncomfortable and unhappy in our public restrooms. And I don't know why. Anyway, coolish. I looked at that, I'm like, yeah, that's kind of the best that we can hope for, you know, to be coolish. I just kind of identified with this little packet of mystery treat. There was a hot dog here in a bag, not refrigerated. Don't know how good that would have been, but I mean, a hot dog's a hot dog, I guess. Does it really need to be refrigerated after it's cooked? Or does it just kind of reach immortality? Maybe. And here's another example of just a very kind of stereotypical Japanese. There's something I think I would see in the US. Like, hey, look, it's a Japanese thing. It's got a sumo wrestler who moves his legs back and forth like that over top of a store entrance. I didn't expect it to be in, you know, in Japan, but it definitely was. And he definitely stomped his feet up and down. So you can see kind of, yeah. So I don't know. I thought I'd take a picture of it. This Mr. Donut location was attractive to me. I said, I want to go into Mr. Donut and see why, being the distinguished gentleman he was, they're like, no, that's a crap place. We don't want to go there. I want to take you to nice, authentic places. And I was like, well, yeah, that's nice too, but Mr. Donut. Anyway, didn't go to Mr. Donut that day. So I went by a Family Mart again, and I got two things. The first being this thing. It's a piece of bread, and it says with milk, coffee cream, and whipped cream. I will be honest with you. I bought it because I want to put it on my face. It looks very soft, it feels very soft, and I'm going to rub it on my face. Don't know why, but when I see incredibly soft looking bread, it's kind of what I do. Should probably see somebody about that. The other thing that I got was Family chicken, and it's spicy. So Family Mart chicken. I'll try it now if I can open it. Oh, there we go. Oh look, it has a little perforated chicken line. I kind of get it out. Okay. Oh, that's some pretty good spicy chicken. It's like real chicken. There's actually like fat in there too. It's not like, you know, McDonald's chicken nugget or anything. Okay, that's not bad. And to wash it down, you've got some Suntory Boss Cafe au lait. This was in the hot section, so it is hot in that kind of heated, cooler area. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Look at him. He's smoking a pipe. This is delightful. And I'm told that I need to take all this trash home because they don't have public trash cans around here, apparently. I don't know. Okay, I have unwrapped my bun. I have not put it on my face yet, but just look at that. Look at just how fluffy. I mean, that's good face bread, right? That's really good face bread. As far as bread to go on your face goes, it can't get much better than that. But, yeah. That's real good. What? That's real good. Oh. Oh, yeah. It tastes like coffee. It's like coffee and whipped cream. That's amazing. I found a public trash can, which is a big deal. Some of them are located near vending machines, and they're pretty much only for bottles, but there are a lot of outdoor vending machines, and a lot of them are heated and cooled, which is super cool. So I didn't get a picture of one of these things lit up, but the crosswalk signs. Little man in red for not walking, little man in green for walking. No one, now pretty much no one, I saw one or two people do it, but it was very uncommon. No one disobeyed these signs. You could be at a single lane intersection with no car in sight. And people would still line up, like 5 to 10 people standing there, not walking across the road because the little man is not green. In the US, we don't care. We'll just walk and get hit. But they would just stand there and wait. Like, nope, it's not green yet. I'm going to wait. There was a lot of rule following, a lot of respect, a lot of consideration taking place, and the roads were fantastic. There was not a single pothole. Traffic was not really a thing because their public transit system is amazing. And this is a hugely popular, city, Tokyo. So Asakusa is a little section of Tokyo. Tokyo has these wards. I still was not complete. I asked a lot of questions about that because it really confused me. But I guess it's kind of like New York City having boroughs, something like that. This is a chef man poking out of a building. So that's Nimi. Anyway, he interested me. This also interested me because it looked like the roof of a Pizza Hut. And it felt, special. This I saw these a few different places. I called them carousels because they rotate your automobile. There were not a lot of personally owned automobiles in the city because people bike, they walk, and they take the subway. But there were a good amount of carousels. And you can tell that these things are not new. They've had these for a while. Why can't we have carousels? This seems extremely practical. You don't have to back in or back out ever. You can just always be facing the direction you want to be facing. That's cool. And I bet you they worked because everything kind of worked over there. Not a lot of broken things. And I don't remember where this was. Where were we here? I don't know. Oh, we were getting lunch. Yes. So this was at the Pen Show. Not a hotel. This was like a convention center. The Tokyo International Pen Show took place in. And we had lunch here before we got started. And mine was too spicy. It was very spicy. Siwa and I had a little bit of a misunderstanding where he's like, do you like spicy? I was like, yeah, I like spicy. Do you really like spicy? I mean, yeah. Extra spicy? I was like, no, not extra spicy. And then he told the server extra spicy. So, yeah, this thing lit into my face. Like, my face was on fire. My lips burned, and I couldn't finish a lot of it. It was good. The flavor was good, but the pain on my face was bad. And I'll spare you the details of days to come, but I remembered that bowl of ramen. So, again, bathrooms. This was the control panel for the Pen Show bathroom. Again, this is a convention center, very nice, but I want to make a note of the music button that says privacy. So, I didn't hit this button because I did not need audible privacy, but if you were to need privacy while you're in the bathroom doing your duties, you can play a little song, play a little tune to obscure any other musical accompaniment that you might be producing yourself. So I don't know what's better, just hearing bathroom sounds or hearing the sound over top of bathroom sounds. Like I didn't play it again. I kind of regret not being able to play it, but like, does it really cover up noises? Because it would need to be, if you're that desperate, you're like, I need to play a song. There's some noises happening. There's some serious business going on. Anyway, I really wish I pushed that button. But then people are gonna know either way, right? It's like, what? Like, you're not really hiding anything from anybody. But I will say, music notes were a big thing over there. When the walk sign happened, you heard this bird chirp for the seeing impaired, so that you know when to walk. When the subways were approaching, you heard this little ding 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 ding. There was not just like bah, bah, like we would have a beep, a honk, a burp. Over there it was never just a single tone of anything. If you hit a button, it was like boom 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 boom. It was never a single beep. They add tunes. And this was the Tokyo International Pen Show. I immediately saw people that I knew or people that knew me, and I was like, yes, I know you. Like, we're Instagram friends. It was so funky going into another country and seeing people that you kind of knew. I didn't know, and I wasn't being swamped or anything, but there was a good, handful of folks that were, somewhat familiar faces to me and were a pleasure to meet. I'd spoken to them on Instagram or whatever, and it was quite pleasant. So, it definitely felt like I was with friends, and that was really cool for being so far away from my uh, comfort zone, I guess. I saw David. I'd seen him at the San Francisco show, at the DC show, and there he was at the Tokyo show. So that was really neat. And then after the show, we'll go back to the show. I went to a show another day. We'll get more pictures after that. But I went to another temple. I don't remember where this one was, because I can't recall where exactly the Pen show took place. I was just following CY around. He told me where to go, so I was great. Yes, let's do that. But another temple. This one was less populous. The Asakusa temple was right in the heart of the city. This one was a little off, but still in the city. That was what made it so crazy. So the entrance was very much metropolitan, but then once you got past this initial gate, it was very, very woody. And it was like a little portal, like you were in the city, and then all of a sudden you were not. And you're talking woods and just more woods. It felt like you were somewhere else. Like it felt very not Tokyo to me, and which was cool because I didn't get to go outside of Tokyo. These are all like sake barrels, I think. I didn't get to go outside of Tokyo to kind of like the any small villages or anything. So this was pretty much as close as I got to what my uneducated brain, would consider to be more of a traditional appearance of a Japanese temple. But it was really special. It was probably my favorite setting that I got to be immersed in while I was there. So beautiful, beautiful, picturesque. Oh, this roof I was fascinated by. The curvature of these roofs. Like there were so many curved surfaces that I saw in Japanese architecture that just fascinated me, because I know that that's a hard thing to do. Like to make a curve is harder than a right angle. It just takes more work, and you see it everywhere. It didn't seem that any hesitation was given to just kind of making something look good or a little bit more smooth or a little bit more polished. And I don't know how old this roof is, but it looked just stunning, and I just fell in love with it. And this temple looked different than the other one, but in a really good way. But you can tell that all of the fronts of these beams were painted white to just kind of give it some more texture. The trees were just immaculately sculpted and uniform, and that just really, seeing the two kind of twin trees there in the temple courtyard was just beautiful. The trees were almost as beautiful as the temple itself. And then we went to some other place in Tokyo. It was very crowded, so this was a bit of a blur. But there was a Nintendo shop. There was a little anime store. I got a picture with me and Luffy so I could show Archer, my son. He loves One Piece. And then we went to Itoya. Anyway, we had coffee that night. And that was great. The coffee situation over there is excellent. There's like a 5-to-1 ratio in terms of like Japanese individual coffee houses versus Starbucks. So the Starbucks are there, but there are more independently owned local shops with a great vibe, wonderful atmosphere, and delicious coffee. So this was just fantastic. I loved the environment of this place. It made me very happy. And then I went to a Don Quixote, or a Donki, as they say over there. And I was absolutely not ready for that. As soon as we went in, it was a complete ADHD nightmare. Or like, so stimulus is weird with ADHD people. It could either be amazing or absolutely hellish. And I felt like both were happening at the same time with me. I'm like, this is amazing. This is like just so much delightful input. But then also I'm like, I'm going to die. Overall, though, it was a positive. I loved it. I really did. But so walked in there, theme song, Don Quixote theme song. was not expecting a theme song. Like I told you, tunes and music, ambiance very, very big over there. Heard it a lot, but was not expecting a full-on theme song. So Don Quixote is this penguin with a Santa hat, and he's got a theme song. And so this store sells everything. Didn't see any Targets or Walmarts or anything like that, but this place is just the end-all be-all. I was with CY and his wife Akane, and she was telling us about how in her college days she would just have a sweet potato from Donki and eat it on her bicycle on her way back to her dorm or whatever, something like that. And I was like, wait. So you just had a potato and you were biking, just eating a potato. And she's like, yeah, it's the best. It's cheap, fills you up, great for college kids. I was like, well, but just a potato? You're just eating a potato with your hand. And she's like, yeah, these potatoes are fantastic. They're not like American potatoes that are orange and kind of fibrous. They're like the texture of kind of more regular potatoes, but the flavor of sweet potatoes. And they're more yellowy. And I said, can we get one? Because I want to do this. The thought of somebody just like, just eating a potato walking around or on a bike, just like, yeah, potato snack. I just thought that was amazing. That made me so happy, and I got so excited. I was like, can we please share a potato? So we did. We went into Donki. We got a sweet potato, and yeah, it was delicious. It was amazing. It was a hot, delicious sweet potato, and we split it. I had one half, she had the other half, and it's just beautiful, gorgeous sweet potato. Yes. Okay. All right. So look at that. It's more yellow than the normal sweet potatoes I'm used to. All right. Cheers.
Cheers.
That's excellent. That's a good potato.
Oh, wait.
That was one of my favorite parts of the entire trip. And I know that I keep saying my favorite parts of these like dumb moments that are not at all culturally relevant to an amazing country that is just immensely rich with history, but it put a big old smile on my face. Yeah. Sweet potato from Donki. Yeah, and then the next day I met CY for breakfast. There were a couple times where I woke up and I did walk to a location to meet CY. I was very proud of myself for navigating things and not getting lost. But it was a very, very safe feeling country. So I never felt like, the worst thing would just be, hey, I don't know where I am. Where are you? Text, But yeah, there were like old ladies walking around at night and through alleyways in the dark, like not a care in the world. Like everybody felt safe. It was quiet. As though the main street was bustling and a little loud-ish, like not loud compared to any other of the largest cities in the world, but there was street noise. But then as soon as you got off of one of those main streets into the side streets, it was just silent, just footsteps. It was crazy, but good. Loved it. So yeah, went to a place, got some coffee. It was good. It was delicious. And then we went back to the pen show. I saw this guy who was selling something called the ink mascara. And it was a little rod with his little fancy coil. So it was like a wire sticking out of the rod with a coil, and then the coil kind of folded back onto itself to form the writing surface. And this dip pen essentially would create a massive swab of ink, a big, maybe like a 3/4 of an inch. Like it was pretty sizable. And he made them himself, so he can't sell these en masse. He can pretty much only sell them at these pen shows, but it was pretty neat. So took a picture of that. Oh, okay. Bathrooms again. I just wanted to show you. I know. Just look at the stalls, though. Look how they go all the way to the floor. Look how clean. And look, there's like a little baby holder. You put your baby in while you go to the bathroom. You just sit your baby in there and be like, hey, what's up, buddy? Hang on. I'm almost done. And the baby's just like looking at you. Like, all right, thank you. This is fine for me. I'm safe. I'm cozy. I'm well supported in my little baby bucket. And maybe hit some tunes, Dad. Do you need to hit some tunes? No, I'm okay, buddy. I don't need tunes. But maybe I will, just for fun, while you're sitting in your baby bucket and I'm sitting here doing other stuff. I don't know. It's so neat and clean. I mean, granted, this is a nice conference center, very pretty, very posh, but still, beautiful bathrooms. We got to go to a retro game extravaganza, which is huge for me. So we saw Famicom, which is family computer over there. It was the same as our our Nintendo Entertainment System, and then Super Famicom, Super Family Computer, was their Super Nintendo. Obviously, that was the original. We called it something different. It was a little hard seeing which of the games they were because they were all in Japanese, but I definitely recognized a good amount of them. I did not buy any because I wasn't sure they would work in my Nintendo. And then we went to Maruzen. It was awesome. Very cool store. The displays were so nice. I don't have a lot of history in stationery stores. I have more of experience with online, and seeing things just arranged in this way was really amazing. And it really did just kind of bring out the joy and the beauty of this hobby and these products in a way that I hadn't yet seen. And this was just the beginning. The fountain pen area of the store, just really, really hit me. And I saw products that I were super familiar with that were displayed in just such an appealing way. And with a retail background, this was really, really interesting to me. They had everything arranged really well. They had a little glass of water in all of the glass cabinets. I need to find out why that was. It wasn't with just Urushi pens or anything like that. It was really in all of them. So I meant to figure that out. But they had little seasonal displays and all that. Just very, very attractive. And then, this was the chef gentleman coming out of the building. I didn't notice this when I first took a picture of him, but CY said, well, hey, look at the opposite end because there's teacups. And there were, in fact, teacups. And those teacups are balconies. People can walk out and be in the teacup. So that was neat. And I found yet another Donki. And this was an epic Donki. Absolutely epic. It reminded me of the tower in Back to the Future 2, the Bifco tower with the neon. I don't know. It probably didn't actually look like that, but that was what triggered me. But it was awesome. And of course, we went into this one as well. So it was just, again, stimulus nightmare or heaven, depending on how your brain works. But it was a lot. And they sell everything there. There's even an adult section that is pretty well attended. It was weird. It was a weird store, but good. It was weird. I did feel kind of terrible for a couple days. I got this stuff. I think this was a Tylenol/Advil combo. Never slept well while I was there. Stayed up for about 24 hours because they are they're 13 hours ahead of us or something. So I was up for 24 hours before I got some sleep, and then I couldn't sleep. So I took some melatonin gummies and slept, but had horrible dreams, very anxious. And later I found out that was kind of, that's a side effect that some people experience. Did not know that because I kept taking them and I kept sleeping terribly. So never had a good sleep while I was there. And then one day I woke up with just a pounding headache that did not go away. This medicine did help, but it was rough. And then I got nauseous on the subway. We had to stop several times because I really thought I was going to throw up. It was terrible. I was having digestive issues. I was not at 100%. And that really sucks because I would have enjoyed the food more. I would have enjoyed my time more, but my body was not happy. I don't know if I was dehydrated. My wife thinks I probably was. The sleep component was definitely a factor. I don't know. They were very walking heavy days too. So maybe I was just exhausted. It was probably a lot going on, but unfortunately it all kind of contributed to me, just not feeling well. I did finally get to go into a Mr. Donut though. And another interesting thing about Japan is that, they had liquid creamer, cups, rather than sugar packets. They had this like, not liquid creamer, sugar. It's like liquid sugar that they would pour into their coffee and things instead of packets of granules. So yeah, I don't know. I didn't try it, but I'm sure it's effective. Probably, dissolves better. So I thought that was neat. And these are my donuts. You think what you want about the shape of that donut. It was definitely interesting. And then a cruller or cronut or whatever. They were nice. They were delicious. And that's just a sign that says hot dog. I liked it. And then we went to the Gundam store and took the, I think this is the monorail. I know it was not driven. CY did told me it was an all automated train, but we got to go around the Tokyo Bay there to this little island that had a Gundam store in it. We saw a lot of Gundam toys. The entire experience was just really over the top and excellent. There were a lot of people waiting in line to get in. We waited in line for, maybe 20 minutes or so, but inside was just everything you could have ever wanted if you were a fan of Gundam. It's such a massive thing over there. I enjoy it. I'm not like obsessed with it or anything, but I absolutely understand the appeal, and every one that I've put together has been delightful. They fit together so amazingly well. They're so easy. They don't require any glue or anything. Like if you get satisfaction in putting together Lego, you would get satisfaction in putting together Gundam. I promise you. They are excellent. All you need is a good pair of flush cutters or nippers to remove the parts from the sheet, but assembly is easy, and you get to create a fully posable, movable figure. So I would absolutely recommend it. It's a ton of fun. I did pick up one, this one right here. I haven't out yet put it together, but it's on my list. I still do have a few that I've purchased or that were given to me previously that I haven't put together. So this one needs to kind of sit on the back burner for a little bit. And outside of the Gundam store was this. This is the Unicorn Gundam. And if you wait long enough, every 30 minutes or so, it does this. And that was cool, right? ZY kept asking me, like, you sure you want to stay? You good staying? You good waiting? And I looked around at all the people. I'm like, yeah, I mean, it seems like there's going to be something cool happen. So, yeah, I mean, these people wouldn't be waiting around for nothing. And I'm so very glad we waited. There was a particular subway train that CY told me was kind of retro decorated. And we got it. And it was really neat. It did feel kind of like mid-century style or early 1900s style train car with wood paneling and everything like that. It was actually really cool. Then we went to Bungu Box. It was a very small store, but really nicely decorated. I didn't take any pictures of the inside because it was very small, and I don't know, I felt kind of invasive, but I don't know. It was neat. And they sold Ian Schoen pens, which is really cool to see Ian Schoen's connections out there. He has long and deep connections with Japan retail, and it was really neat seeing a Philly local having his pens all the way over there. Esterbrook too. Esterbrook had a pretty successful distribution over there, and I was surprised to see Estes popping up in stores I wouldn't have expected to see them in. And then we went into this really cool coffee shop. It was pretty narrow, so I didn't get a lot of good pictures, but the coolest thing was that, I had to go to the bathroom, and CY was like, it's over there, but I'm not going to tell you where it is, but it is on this floor. So I'm like, okay, what is he trying to do to me? And I knew what he was trying to do, but it didn't work because I saw someone coming out of the bathroom, and they emerged from a bookshelf. And then I realized there was one book kind of jutting out, and that is the handle that you pull and go in. So he was trying to fool me into thinking that I don't know where the bathroom is, but I saw somebody coming out, so it didn't work. But it was so cool. You got to open up the bookshelf, and the bathroom was right there. Sorry, I keep talking about bathrooms, but I'm telling you, they were cool. And I got an iced coffee with a big old hunk of hand-carved ice in it. It was tasty. And this was the outside of the coffee shop. You had to duck to get in. Oh, yes. Akihabara is where we went next. Yeah, Akihabara is a lot of nerdy stuff. Big old store. I don't remember where this is. This was a something photo. I don't remember the exact name of it, but it used to be like a camera store, but now it's just like an everything store. Probably like so many stories, like escalators up and up and up and up and up and up and up. And every floor was a different sort of, department. But this is just an example of the signage over there. And this was an example of too much stimulation for me. I saw signs like this and they did not work well with my brain. Like this was overload. The Don Quixote was like, that stimulus was different. Like I could kind of understand and look and be curious and like, ooh, 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 ooh. But the signage was different. The signage, that hit me in a not good way. It really scrambled everything in whatever is going on in my head. So stuff like this was everywhere. The signage was very just, I feel like everything had outlines. The colors were so bold and loud, and it was just a lot. The signage was just, and maybe it's just because I didn't understand the language. I don't know, but looking at images like this, that melted my brain. It really did. These are what the appliances looked like. Like, look at the signage. It's so much. Like they're covering like almost the entire fridge with these signs. It's just, and everything in this building looked like this. It was just boosh everywhere. Just, I cannot explain what it did to my brain, but it was, I'm getting, golly, my mouth is, it was a lot, y'all. It was a lot. But the fridges were super cool. I opened up a few of them. Very pretty street. Again, everything was super clean, so well organized. And then we had dinner. They were very merciful on me this day. I was not feeling super well, so we had dinner at a American style diner, and I got a burger, and it was wonderful. This was my bag that came home with me. I didn't buy pretty much anything for myself. I got a coin for myself, but I got a lot of stuff for Archer, and he loves this cat. This is just an example of little details. The manholes or the access panels, ports, holes, whatever, for water, sewer were covered in cherry blossoms and just beautiful pictures. And it's just, there were so many details like that. I would walk down the street and I would just be, enraptured by these details. I'm like, oh my gosh, look at the way that thing, is intentionally meets up with like this floor panel. The lines meet up with the panels on the rest of the floor. Like they made sure that when they had to cut the floor out to put an access panel in there, the thing that they added had the exact same line arrangement. It's like there was stuff like that that just like, I just honed in on so much of that, and it just fascinated me to no end. And then I found this bread. This was a small loaf with like a coffee and vanilla cream in it, and it was the softest bread I'd ever seen. And I just have a thing that I like to put bread on my face if it's super, super soft. It started with the McDonald's Filet-O-Fish sandwich. So if you've ever had a Filet-O-Fish, you know that bread is quite nice. The bun on the Filet-O-Fish is unlike any other bun. It's smooth, it's soft, and it's pretty much the only thing on the McDonald's menu that actually looks like the picture. If you get a Filet-O-Fish, it looks like the picture you ordered it from. Every other burger, nah, it's not as pretty ever. The Filet-O-Fish, though, it is authentic. The Filet-O-Fish is honest. If you order Filet-O-Fish, you see the picture, you're going to get that picture. That's why the Filet-O-Fish is awesome. And it's great on your face. This was the what's that store? The one with the dip nib. Oh my god. The thing with the different line widths. Oh my god. Kakimori nib. This is a Kakimori store. They don't just sell the Kakimori dip nibs, which are super cool, but they sold all sorts of pens. And all of their displays were this beautiful, beautiful wood. Everything coordinated perfectly. Just display-wise, everything looked good. You could try all of these pens. I've never seen the Regulus or the Regulus before, Sailor Regulus. I don't know, it's a Japan thing. And I've never seen the Pilot Custom Maple, so I took pictures of those because I'd never seen them before. But this was all their pens. You could test all of these. And I thought that was so cool. And then we went for a walk along the bay. saw this thing. I think this is supposed to be fire or something, but I think CY told me they just call it a turd. I don't know. But yeah, we got one last picture before we headed out. He was an exceptional host, so kind, so helpful. I would not have been able to find my way anywhere without, you know, the help of CY, and his wife was delightful as well. Just two wonderful, very, very kind people. And I was very, very fortunate to have this opportunity to both go to the Tokyo Pen Show, which was a bucket list item, to, you know, experience the culture of Tokyo and just the sights, the sounds, and everything, the tastes, and to have somebody kind of hold my hand the entire way, which, man, I cannot imagine being able to navigate that without a lot of help. It can be done. A lot of research would be necessary. I didn't use Google Translate once, so I had a lot of help, like a lot of help. But yeah, then I got on my way home, made it to DC. It was another long trip. It was shorter than the trip going to Tokyo because we had tailwinds in our favor. So it was only about 12 hours instead of 14. But then we were on this little tiny plane going from DC back to my home in Richmond. And this was kind of like the last picture I had of my trip. And then we flew in to good old Richmond. It was very nice to see. It was a great trip, but I was ready to come home. I missed my dogs and my family. Not necessarily in that order. Family first, for sure. But I was very happy to see everybody. And I slept and slept and slept. And I was feeling myself again after a day. So that was really nice. And yeah, that's pretty much it as far as what I had recorded. I wish I could do like a haul of the things I brought back with me, but I didn't really bring back a ton. Everything, you know, was pretty much what you saw. A lot of just souvenirs for the kids. I did bring a lot of candy back, but that'll be for another day. This has already gone pretty long, but yeah, I don't know. Hopefully this was interesting to you. It was a lot to process. You know, I was left with just a fascination for how much they as a culture cared about their surroundings, and everybody was so considerate. Everybody took pride in what they did. I saw so many people just like cleaning their place of employment, you know, wiping down windows, dusting shelves. Everybody just wanted to have their things as nice as possible and as cared for as possible. Yeah, the subway stations and everything like that like made my local train station look post-apocalyptic. Like, you know, we've got like crumbling, you know, you walk under what's supposed to be a covering, but stuff's dripping on you all the time because it's just those kind of corrugated steel roofs, and it's just full of holes and rust. I'm like, oh man. But yeah, I mean, I did miss my targets, you know, and there was plenty to miss, but if I would love to just kind of copy and paste the infrastructure in general over to the US. Like, man, that'd be nice. So this is going on for a while. Thank you for sticking with me. I hope you found some value on this. I will be back with more later. It won't be about Japan. This is pretty much as comprehensive as I can get, but I will be carrying that experience with me for quite some time. It left a lifelong impression on me in the best of ways. So I'll keep that with me. I'm sure it'll come up at some point, but you can look forward to some more videos on this channel. This is the first one officially. And yeah, thank you for your support. Thank you for sticking with me. And I hope you have a fantastic rest of the day. Keep being you.